Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at the 10 biggest cheerleading fails. Cheerleading can look pretty amazing sometimes. It can involve incredible gymnastic abilities and synchronized dances, but sometimes cheerleading is impressive for other more hilarious reasons. From falling into swimming pools to the biggest formations falling over, these clips are all hilarious and unbelievable, so stay tuned. But first, press the red subscribe button, and why not press the bell button too. Coming in at number 10, we have Make a Splash. Cheerleading is mostly done on football fields or in indoor gymnasiums, right? But why is it never done next to a swimming pool? Well, this clip of cheerleaders at a diving competition probably explains why. A group of 12 cheerleaders were performing their routine, but keep your eye on the cheerleader at the back. She takes a mistaken step back and plunges right into the swimming pool. Some cheerleaders carry on the routine while others turn around and look at their friend in the water. Eventually a man does come and help her out, but it looks like the others were ready to just move on. She was really working on some moves here, but unfortunately she had to take a fall. Yeah, it's probably best not to put cheerleaders right next to a pool. I think whoever set this up was waiting for it to happen. Watch the clip and get ready to laugh. Next up is Frozen. We've already seen one case of cheerleading next to a swimming pool, but we actually have one other odd cheerleading location. Have you ever wondered why the NHL don't have cheerleaders? Well, this video pretty much explains why. In 2011, there was a news report of cheerleaders in an ice rink who were preparing for a big ice hockey game in New York. The camera's filming them, but then all of a sudden, one of them slips on the ice and falls over. The camera awkwardly pans away, and the funny part is, the news anchor and interviewee don't even notice. When it cuts back to the studio though, the anchors there ask if she's okay and even play the clip again. I mean, it's one thing to bring it up and embarrass the cheerleader by pointing it out, but do we really need an instant replay? The answer is yes, so here's the clip once again. Next up is Ready for the Close-Up. Now this one is an image, but it's so hilarious I had to include it on this list. This one took place at an Arizona Cardinals game a few years back. We all know that sports cameramen really have to get into the action to get the shots that will make them cash. But it looks like one cameraman got far more than he bargained for when number 5 of the Cardinals came plowing into him. The cheerleaders in the background really sum the photo up, as they look scared too. And chances are that big football player is going to run into both the cameraman and the cheerleaders. Another cameraman took the opportunity to use his fellow cameraman as a photo, as he's really concentrating on getting the shot. I just hope the guy was okay, and his camera too, as that particular model costs over $1,600. Then again, we all know NFL players have the money to pay him back. Next up is overconfidence. When it comes to performing in front of a crowd, confidence is key. But sometimes if you're overconfident, you can mess up even more. In this clip, a cheerleader is just beginning her performance, and she looks super confident. In fact, the cameraman even zooms in right in on her as if he knew something was about to happen. He must be a psychic or something, because it did as soon as she put her legs up in the air. She flipped right over and then tried to recover. It kind of worked, but you could still tell she was a little shocked from her slip. Do you think she recovered well from this or not? Come on, you have to give the girl some credit. Watch the clip and tell me what you think in the comments. Next up is recovery. You know what they say, if you mess something up, it's the recovery that's important. Well, somebody should have told this cheerleader that a little sooner. 4 pairs of cheerleaders pick each other up in front of a crowd, but then all of a sudden the pair in the middle take a tumble and hit the hard wooden floor. This not only makes the cheerleader on top fall, but the male who picked her up falls as well. After they fell, they probably could have made a recovery. The man tries to, but the girl's mad and walks off. The poor guy even put his arm out, but she bats it away like Melania Trump because of how angry she was for him dropping her on the ground. They then take the walk of shame and leave the court. To be fair, you can see why she would be embarrassed, as a few people just saw her fall, but it's nothing compared to the 4 million people who saw this clip online. It went viral after being one of the first videos to use the "When the Bodies Hit the Floor" song because, well, get it? Bodies hitting the floor? Anyway, check the video out and get ready to laugh. Next up is trust exercise. You know those trust exercises you have to do on corny work vacations? Well, one cheerleading exercise shown here looks like one of those. It was at a volleyball game, and just before the game began, the cheerleading group split up into 2 groups and tried to prop up 2 of the girls. One of them is flawless and looks pretty pleased with herself. However, the other one fell over and messed up the entire exercise for a whole team. And what's worse is the game was literally about to start, so all eyes were on her. The funny thing is, they don't even try and do it again. They simply strike a pose while the other group is still standing up. And afterwards, the girl who fell appears to be looking at the other one who didn't fall in an angry way. I can't hear it that well in the video, but how much do you want to bet the crowd went "oh" after she fell? Check out the video clip for yourself. Next up is "there's always one." Have you ever heard the catchphrase "the weakest link"? It means the one in the group who messes things up for everyone. Well, a few years back, a large group of cheerleaders for the New York Knicks were performing at one of their basketball games. It seems to be going all fine until the moment they get into a big circle and do a complicated move. They all flip over each other, but as you should know from watching this video, there's always one that messes things up. One girl's flip doesn't go to plan and she lands flat on her back. The thing is, no one helps her up and they simply move on to the next pose. The cheerleader then has to quickly get up herself and rearrange her position. And if you look carefully, you can even see other cheerleaders smiling and talking to her about the fall while she remains silent. Now, if they're nice, they'll be saying "are you okay?" but if they're not, they'll be saying "you just messed it up for us all." Watch the video and let me know what you think. Next up is the COMEDOWN. We all know that cheerleading can sometimes involve impressive moves, but sometimes these moves are a little ambitious for the pros, let alone high school cheerleaders. Well, at this school in the USA, they were performing a move for the audience of a football game. They launched the cheerleader up alright, but they didn't seem to be able to keep her up there. She fell down to the ground pretty quickly, but not quickly enough for this guy to not capture the moment on camera. The funny thing is the faces of the other cheerleaders as they react to the girl falling. They all look totally terrified, even the ones that aren't near her landing zone. The image has since gone viral and has been re-edited many times, some of which I can't even show on here. But even just on its own, it's a hilarious photo and is most definitely a cheerleading fail. Next up is the face. This is another image which has gone viral online. 2 groups of cheerleaders are holding up other cheerleaders. However, for some reason, the 2 girls who are directly underneath the 2 cheerleaders being held up are making faces. I have no idea what the girl on the left's face is supposed to suggest, and I'm guessing the girl on the right is simply laughing at the expression her fellow cheerleader is pulling. I have to say this photo is funny because it made me and a lot of other people laugh online. However, it is kind of hard to see what's going on here other than that it was apparently taken at a track and field race. Perhaps these cheerleaders were just messing around and didn't think anyone would take pictures, but they should know by now that if you do anything, and I mean anything in real life, it has the chance to go viral online. I mean, just look at the "Don't Judge Me" challenge. Next up is CARTFLOP. We've all heard of a cartwheel, and maybe some of us can do one, but what about a CARTFLOP? Well, it looks like one cheerleader came up with a new move. This clip was captured back in 2010 and it's a formation of 12 cheerleaders all dancing in unison. They're good for about 20 seconds, but as we learned from before, there's always one. While their performance was strong, one cheerleader decided to become a little bit overconfident and celebrate their good show. She did a cartwheel, or at least tried to do one, but it turned into a CARTFLOP. She fell flat on her face and it got mixed reactions. Their performance got claps, but her fall got a mix of gasps and laughs. It may look like her fellow cheerleaders are concerned as they cover their mouths, but instead of checking on her, they simply turn around and start laughing. Are these bad teammates, or is this just too funny to resist laughing about? I think I would have laughed too in this situation. Watch the clip and let me know what you would have done, and be honest. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the funniest cheerleading fail. And guys, if you want more amazing content, check out my second channel. There'll be a video belonging to that channel on screen in a moment, so definitely check it out. But as always, thank you for watching. What are you waiting for? Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, why not subscribe to Top 10s today?